So we thought just sitting around a table and discussing, maybe we could capture some of our thoughts, observations, and advice for the future. Essentially, we'll have an open-ended discussion. I'll try to think of a few questions to lead us. Let's start with Yasin. Any thoughts?
I think what probably changed my perspective the most was actually seeing the dispersion. So seeing the core exit in the HPEI in the tanks, and actually having that effect. I'd heard about it, in terms of causing the oil to sink to the bottom or causing an impact. But I think seeing it was something different. Now, in terms of what ultimately happened and all the tanks still being somewhat oiled, the sand still being somewhat oiled, I think I want to process that a little bit more and see what do I think. And I think like kind of putting that in the context of the toxicity stuff as we get clearer on what happened with the toxicity study and what would happen if we had 24 hours. I think that would be, that had the most impact or the most change on me actually seeing that. And that's what I think would, kind of go over or pass over if we try to communicate this to the community or to the larger group.
Did you come here thinking dispersion was a good thing to do?
No.
Do you now think it is a good thing to do?
I don't think it's a good thing to do, but I think it's a convincing thing to do.
It confirmed for me that using dispersion didn't do anything. It confirmed for me that the oil stays in the system. There was no oil gone, there was no oil not on the beach or not accessible to the water or not throughout the water column or not on plants and plant material. It's still all there. It doesn't leave. I mean, and so that's why I didn't want to clarify.
I think that one of the key things is that, one of the reasons is language access, and before BP, fishermen, mostly fishermen, they're an independent group. It's not just Vietnamese, but fishermen are large, independent. But what you need to do is, if you're going to try to address some of the issues post, BP or future oil disasters, is that you have to bridge the gap between institutions such as universities, scientists, and the community. You have to do it, and you have to do it in a more meaningful way. And that's mutual education. Fishermen, for example, possess a lot of traditional ecological knowledge because they spend a great deal out there, almost every day, practical experience, right? And scientists may not spend as much time out there, or some don't, right? But they have a lot of academic book knowledge, and that needs to be brought together. That's, and there are ways to, and that was one of the primary reasons why I'm interested in this type of, because I want to learn more about dispersants, right? And its effect on maybe fisheries, right? Or just the ecosystem, right? And help educate my community, but in turn, bringing my community in to help educate and inform scientists as well, right?
We have a pretty good display on the oil spill that talks about all the things that have been done. It doesn't really explain very well what the dispersants do. You could tell them what it's doing, but it's very scientific, and that's the thing that we run into all the time. Somebody can write all the publishable papers that they want to, but the general public is going to get through the first paragraph and go next. Yeah. And so that's the difficulty and the challenge that you run into, is converting it to a level that the people can understand. So all of the scientific papers that I've read, we converted them down to 9th grade level. And that's what we try and maintain in the estuary.
I had the privilege of maintaining security for the top 1% of the teenagers when they talked to our leaders many, many years ago when I was still in service. They talked at the highest level that you ever want to talk about, and were understood by teenagers and these adults, okay? Doctrines of many degrees. Those are the kids we need to actually be able to introduce to them the science and talk at their level, first off, to get them interested in it. Whether it's dispersants or whether it's the other items that you may not even think about yet. They may come up with the idea on how we best develop a plan or a action for the future.